The patients with CVT again present with severe headache, symptoms of raised ICP. So what are the symptoms of raised ICP? Is headache, projectile vomiting, visual obscurations. Depending on which vein is thrombosed, causing back pressure to the venous drainage, and where the hemorrhagic infarct happens, they can have various focal neurological deficits. So we do a plain CT. An important MCQ question here is that in plain CT you see a delta sign, where the delta is, you can see that area of the sinus thrombosis, especially if it is in the superior sagittal sinus. In the contrast CT, you see an empty delta sign where the rest of the superior sagittal sinus is seen except in the area where there is a filling defect because of the thrombosis. MRI is the modality of choice because it shows you both the sinus as well and any areas of ischemia and hemorrhage within the brain. The treatment for CVT is primarily medical, where you start the patient on anticoagulation, initially IV, then oral anticoagulation. Sometimes the patient may also benefit from the same clot retrieval through interventional neuroradiology, but here it is a little bit more tricky because operating within the vein is technically more challenging than operating within the arteries. Finally, surgery may be required. Again, the decompressive hemicranectomy that we talked of during the portion on stroke may be ischemic stroke may be needed here. If there is significant raised pressure, if there is significant ventricular dilatation, a ventriculostomy may be required. Now let's come to a totally different subset of vascular neurosurgery, which is intracranial aneurysms. An aneurysm is a outpouching of the blood vessels within the brain. This is a blood vessel. A balloon-like outpouching within it is what is called an aneurysm. So blood flow happens like this through here, should go like this. Because of some reason, there is an aneurysm that is formed here. All the blood goes here, and during certain activities like straining, let's say straining for stools if they are constipated, or during episodes if they are having a severe pain for some other reason, they can develop a rupture here where the blood flows out. So that is called a ruptured aneurysm, which is one of the most acute neurosurgical conditions that we deal with. Why this happens? Something must have happened to that blood vessel wall to weaken that wall. It is either genetic, like say conditions like Marfan's, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, autosomal dominant polycystic kidney disease, which causes weakening because of sustained raised blood pressure, or in various other conditions like chronic hypertension and things like that, where the blood vessel wall becomes weaker because of sustained blood pressure. The rupture happens at branching sites. Supposing the big vessel goes like this and there is a branching point. So the blood flow becomes turbid at the branching areas, and in areas where the blood goes and hits, in some patients who are predisposed for aneurysms can form. So that is something to be kept in mind. Most aneurysms happen in the anterior circulation. So what is this anterior circulation? So the internal carotid artery, from which the branches are the middle cerebral artery and the anterior cerebral artery. These are all the anterior circulation. So 85% of aneurysms form in the anterior circulation artery, most of which are seen in the a COM, which is the anterior communicating artery. This is an anterior communicating artery aneurysm. So, here you can see that this is the ICA, and then this ICA bifurcates, this is the MCA, and this is the ACA. So, this ACA communicates with the opposite side ACA, and that vessel is called the communicating artery. So, the anterior communicating artery aneurysm is one of the commonest, because as you can see, flow comes from here, hits this side. Usually the opposite side is either hyperplastic, less amount of flow comes. So, because this is a dominant circulation and this portion of the blood vessel ball becomes weakened, forming an outpouching called an aneurysm, which can rupture at some point in time. The PCOM, which is the communication between the anterior and the posterior cerebral artery, is the second commonest area. MCA aneurysms also form. Again, MCA aneurysms form in what is called the MCA bifurcation, which is the branching point between the M1 and the M2. In 15% of cases, posterior circulation aneurysm forms, and that is commonest in the basilar artery. As you can see one vertebral artery becoming the basilar. This basilar artery, especially at the top, you can see that where do you think this aneurysm will form? It will form here at the basilar tip, because the two PCAs form like this. The blood flow goes straight like this and keeps hitting this wall. So, there is a basilar tip aneurysm that can form, which is the commonest location of basilar aneurysm. In about 1/3 of patients, 20 to 30% of patients, the aneurysm are multiple, many different vessel walls can have.